Why did you want to be a writer?
So when I was a kid, I was always writing stories, and mostly at first I was just trying to entertain my sister.
Mm.
She was younger, and I wrote stories about her. She had like a security blanket named BB. We just like made up all these characters, and I was always just writing and drawing. Other people were going outside, and I was always just like the one inside, like making up weird magazines for people. And I
Yeah.
don't know. I have like a stack of journals that I kept, and which really helped me actually when Pretty Little Liars came around, because then I could like look at my teenage thoughts and see what I was thinking. But I always knew I would write. I never thought I would actually be published, because being published is hard. It's hard to, get a book deal.
You said that you never thought that you'd be published, but does that mean you were writing books and novels without even a book deal?
Or I'd be writing in journals. I don't know. I would be doing something. But yes, before I had a book deal, I was definitely writing stories in my spare time at this job that I had that I didn't like. So when I was not working, or I was supposed to probably be working, I would be instead working on stories. Maybe with some of the characters in it. I don't remember. I mean, there might have been like little tiny kernels of some of the PLL characters in those really early stories. It's quite possible.
I mean, without the books, there obviously is no show. So how does that even come to be? So can you take us back to, do you get a book deal, write the series, then Marlene calls you out of nowhere and options like, how does that even work?
So it was crazy. So first of all, like getting the Pretty Little Liars book deal completely changed my life, because, it was the same job that I didn't like. And I lived in New York City and not making very much money. And all of a sudden, I came up with this Pretty Little Liars idea, and the publisher bought 4 books. So suddenly I could quit my job. So I was like, oh my God, I'm going to quit my job because I have to write all these books. I wrote the books, and I remember that first summer that I got the book deal, I found out that the series had been optioned, but it had been, this is how long ago this was. It had been optioned by the WB.
Oh,
yeah, back in the day. So it was optioned by the WB, and I was like, man, this was like 2005.
Also, to anybody who is wondering what the WB is, that's the CW,
Yeah, right.
kids. CW before it merged with what?
Warner Brothers.
But the WB merged with to become the CW. Anyway, I don't remember.
Like Dawson's Creek was on it. Right?
Yeah. And then it merged with somebody to become the CW.
It was good teen television.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I was like, oh, the W, this is amazing. Like, oh my God, this is going to be on TV. Well, a long time, as we know, passed before anything happened. And I think there were a few screenwriters who took a crack at trying to make it into a show. I think there were at least 2. Sometimes they aged the characters up. Sometimes they said it somewhere. I can't remember. But by the time I got a call that Marlene had written a screenplay, or the pilot, and ABC Family took it over, and they really liked it, it's not that I didn't care about the TV thing. I just was kind of like, this is way harder than I thought it was. And
right.
It's not going to be a show, and that's fine. So it was a little bit out of the blue that I got a call saying, oh, they're going to make a pilot. Because I was like, wait, I haven't even read a pilot. Wait, there's another pilot? How many pilots are there going to be? Nice. And I had heard that the other pilots weren't so great. So I was like, oh God, what is this going to be? And I was still writing the series. So, and I had probably written 7 books in the series at that point. It was totally out of the blue when I got the call that the pilot was going to be made, and then suddenly the pilot was made, and then it was just sort of like it all happened really fast from there.
Wow.
Were either of you in the pilot?
Yeah, I came right at the end. I didn't say anything.
You were at the end.
Yeah. And by the way, you wanted to kill me off in the first. Wasn't I dead in the books? Like, what number was I dead?
You were dead.
7?
No, you stayed around. You stayed around for a while. I wish I had made you a bigger character.
Thank you. So do I.
Yeah. Yes. And that is very much from the show. I wish I had made Toby a bigger character too. I wish I had made Paige a character at all.
I was waiting.
A character.
Yes, Paige was not originally in the books, which kind of. So, how much creative license did they take? Give me your reaction to seeing the pilot.
I was so happy. I mean, it was like, oh my! I just kept saying, "Oh my god, oh my god," because not only like, you as a writer, you're in your little room and you're alone, and you're like, you have these characters in your head, and you're like, they're just, they have qualities that you used to have growing up, or friends of yours, and you never think it's going to be anything. And suddenly there they were on the screen, and it was like playing out like the first book did, and some of the lines were even used, and it was so. I know I got very lucky as the author, because I know this doesn't happen a lot. I know books are adapted, and sometimes authors are not happy with how they're adapted. But I mean, it was just amazing. It was just like, I could not believe it. How great it was, and how like satisfying it felt. And it felt like, yeah, this is what I would want this show to be from this book series. I think they go together so well.
Did you visualize the people who got the role as those people? Did you ever think, oh, this character doesn't match up with the character that I had in my head? Because for me, when I read, I get very frustrated when I see someone cast in a TV show or a film and it was just not what I envisioned. Was there any characters that, and not in a negative way, but you're like, I didn't think that Hannah was going to be that.
I remember when they sent headshots of the people that they cast for the 4 main, well, maybe an Allison too, the main people in the pilot. And the way that I described them in the book was different. And at first I was kind of like, but they really acted, it more mattered to me sort of how their body language and sort of like what they brought to that character. And I got over that pretty fast. I mean, there were definitely, trying to think of really anybody that stuck out where I just thought, oh God, that is not how I imagined that person.
There has to be one.
Give us the goss.
The girl, and she was so sweet because I met her when I was there. The girl who played Maya. And then I feel like Chad Lowe, who was so sweet, but that is not how I imagined Arya's dad. But as far as the main characters, like, yeah, they, like Emily, for instance. Emily did not look like the Emily from the books, but and I remember people were sort of mad about that. They were like, but I have this picture of Emily in my head, but it didn't really matter because she was just such a good Emily. She just like really, now it's weird because now when I think about the characters, like if I were to go back and write another book of them in high school, I would be a little bit confused because like I always had this picture of them when I was writing them, but now that I've watched the show more, and I've probably watched the show more recently than I've written about them, I would almost imagine them as like the show characters. So
wow,
yeah, it's weird.
Whoa,
it is cool.
I mean, I have so many more like personal questions for you. I feel like we should touch on the recap of episode 6.
Yep.
There's no place like homecoming. We love that wordplay.
By the way, don't you think, can we just say, Lindsay, isn't it really annoying for actors when because you wait for like literally 19 hours and then it's like your scene and you're on for like 20 minutes and then you're back sitting down again. They are the most laborious.
Barely 20 minutes.
Oh, barely.
Like from the time you leave your trailer to the time you're done, that's 20 minutes.
And the whole time you're just waiting for your like line, and then when you actually shoot your line, you get one take because normally they're rushing to get through those big scenes,
and they're trying to get everybody's coverage plus the wide shots plus the establishing whatever plus inserts whatever.
I know.
They're like, the acting can hurry up.
Yeah, be emotional now.
Is this like a dance? Are you saying like a school dance kind of situation?
Yes,
there's
a big.
Yeah. So when they do big scenes like a dance or a homecoming or a party scene or a wedding or a funeral,
anybody leave, even if your side is wrapped, because we might see you in the background of a shot we might get in 2 hours.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when you write
didn't
that
know
stuff,
that.
just know it's hell for us.
Dinners. Oh my gosh.
I didn't
every
know
event.
that.
Yeah.
Yes.